Now at 6:30, Nelsonville's legal troubles continue. A candidate for city government is suing the city to reinstate Issue 23 to abolish Nelsonville's charter.
Plus, as the government shutdown looms, Trump and the GOP are still applying pressure to Democrats.
And in sports, Ohio football picks up their first MAC win over Bowling Green. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Welcome to Newswatch.
Yet again, Nelsonville finds itself in more legal trouble.
A candidate for city auditor is suing the city to repeal the ordinance that repealed Issue 23, the citizen-led ballot initiative that would abolish Nelsonville's charter and change the city's form of government. This comes after the Ohio Supreme Court denied the city's request to remove candidates running under Issue 23 from the November ballot.
The lawsuit alleges the repeal violates the candidate's rights because she would not be able to take office come January 1st, even if elected.
As of now, the city has not filed a response. A statewide law enforcement operation led to the arrest of over 135 people involved in human trafficking.
Known as Operation Next Door, over 100 law enforcement agencies participated in the plan. The operation targeted individuals who sought to buy sex, including from minors. In the operation, 32 were arrested on charges of promoting prostitution, seeking sex with a minor, in drug possession or trafficking.
Another 100 were arrested and charged for engaging in or soliciting prostitution.
A new study finds that the Mountain State ranks last for climate and health. The Commonwealth Fund conducted a survey, and this is a nonprofit that promotes accessible health care and good climate practices. Their annual report found that West Virginia ranks last because of its reliance on coal to generate electricity. Coal produces 86% of West Virginia's electricity, more than any other state. Kentucky, which is also heavily reliant on coal, ranks just above West Virginia on the scorecard. Ohio fared better at number 31. Well, it's National Coffee Day, if you didn't know, and I'm walking around outside with my hot pumpkin spice latte, but it sure is hot. Let's head on over to the Weather Center with forecaster Emily Dietz. Emily, am I going to have to switch my coffee order or what? Because this is getting ridiculous.
Morgan, I am just like you. I like my coffee drinks to match the weather outside, and unfortunately, it is still iced coffee season, at least for me personally, unless you're someone who likes to drink hot coffee on a hot day. Because right now, it's about 84 degrees outside, and across the state, we saw very similar to conditions. Lancaster and Columbus are in the mid-80s, Athens slightly lower, but overall, we're looking at very warm temperatures, which are a bit unseasonable for this time of year. Typically, we see September rolling in about the mid to upper 70s range, but this year has been a lot warmer as we've seen these past couple of weeks, with those temperatures reaching well into the mid-80s. Now, a lot of this right now that we're seeing is due to this developing high-pressure system throughout the region that's going to be hanging around for quite a while. Now, what we do have is something going off along the East Coast. We have a tropical storm development and a hurricane. Fortunately, this isn't projected to make landfall, but we are still seeing some rain bands along the East Coast, and we will be seeing some cloud coverage into our area going on into tonight. So be sure to stay tuned for my full forecast to look at our future weather.
Thanks, Emily. After a church was attacked in Michigan, 4 people are dead, 8 more injured, and the church left damaged by fire. The gunman is dead, and the motive for the shooting is still unknown. Ivan Rodriguez is in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, with the latest.
Parts of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints lay burned after a gunman set fire to the building and then began shooting at worshipers. Churchgoers rushed to protect children, shielding them in many cases, moving them to safety. A community in mourning.
It's really kind of tough to see it in the background and realize that, a lifetime of memories is just gone.
As investigators search for answers,
we are continuing to work to determine a motive. In the past 24 hours, our investigative squads and specialty teams have been out all night, exhausting leads.
Worshippers were attending Sunday services when police say a man crashed his truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. The suspect began shooting with an assault rifle and then used an accelerant like gasoline to set a fire, authorities believe.
These are places that we go to feel connected, to feel safe, to be together. But today, this place has been shattered by bullets and broken glass.
Authorities say the shooter died during an exchange of gunfire with police. The suspect was identified as a 40-year-old U.S. Marine veteran who served in the Iraq War.
This is clearly a mentally ill man, and we just don't understand the motive yet. What we know is that people who were just trying to pray at church were killed in their house of worship, a place that should be a sanctuary and safe. And we need to focus on the community right now and getting them the healing that they need.
Authorities say everyone is now accounted for. Earlier today, a man drove through these barricades right behind me. Police say the 21-year-old is now in custody, and they're currently investigating that incident. Since then, we've seen more barricades be raised. In Grand Lake Township, Michigan, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Coming up, President Trump says peace talks are progressing between Israel and Palestine after a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
And with rates falling, now might be the time to think about refinancing your mortgage.
We are inching closer to October, but will our temperatures feel like October? Stay tuned to find out.
Next time, Antiques Roadshow revisits the city of Oaks, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
This got my heart pounding.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
It's the best thing I have ever seen on the roadshow.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. Thank you.
Plant yourself and find out which values have wilted and which have grown in Vintage Raleigh Hour 1.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
CasualWorks was not designed, created, or maintained by people who studied disability. They're people who studied opportunity. If a person has very limited movement and can make little teeny circles, there's a place for you. The idea of workers contorting themselves to a job is one business model. Our business model is that the job responds to the worker.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Anyone can fly. Anyone can achieve anything they set their mind to.
American craft is something that we value. There's enough room and space and ideas to embrace a lot of diversity.
The thread in my work is always going to go back to the idea.
I owe the joy of working with threads to my dad and my mom, their heritage.
Friday at 10 on WOUB.
President Donald Trump met with the Prime Minister of Israel at the White House today.
Following their sit-down meeting, Trump said they were beyond very close to a peace deal in Gaza. This comes as Israel has grown increasingly isolated on the world stage because of backlash over the war. Julia Benbrook brings us the key takeaways from the meeting.
Ahead of this visit, the Trump administration voiced optimism about resolving the conflict. Just a few days ago, President Donald Trump said that he believed they were, quote, very close to a deal. And a few days before that, his envoy said that a breakthrough was possible. Trump welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House on Monday to discuss a potential Gaza peace plan. The two held a bilateral meeting followed by a joint press conference.
I support your plan to end the war in Gaza.
The Trump administration is pushing a 20-point Gaza peace plan that calls for all hostages held by Hamas to be released within 72 hours of an agreement and sets out a roadmap for Gaza once the war ends.
If Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, they're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a positive answer. But if not, as you know, Bibi, you'd have our full backing to do what you would have to do.
The plan does not indicate the U.S. would support the creation of a Palestinian state, but recognizes it as an aspiration of the Palestinians. In recent days, several countries, including the UK, France, and Canada, have formally recognized a Palestinian state. Trump has said that he believes that move is counterproductive, and Netanyahu has made it clear he strongly opposes that idea. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
With the White House threatening layoffs and Democrats holding firm on health care, both parties will meet in an attempt to keep the government open.
Republicans, they need 60 votes, and they have until midnight tomorrow to do so. Karen Kaifa has the latest.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt Monday ahead of a scheduled meeting between President Donald Trump and congressional leaders from both parties that Trump postponed last week.
We want the government to stay open. The president is giving Democrats one last chance to be reasonable today.
Despite Republicans controlling both chambers of Congress, Democrats do have some leverage in the Senate, where Republicans hold 53 seats but need 60 votes to clear a measure. Democrats are demanding an extension of Affordable Care Act health care subsidies for millions of Americans set to expire at the end of the calendar year in exchange for their support.
We've said from the beginning that we're willing to find a bipartisan path forward, and our line in the sand is the bill has to help everyday Americans, not hurt everyday Americans.
Republican leaders say that debate can wait.
You don't hold the people hostage for their services to allow yourself political cover, and that's what Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are doing right now.
Democrats say Republicans had plenty of time to negotiate with them before this week.
They have the White House, the House, and the Senate. They've had plenty of months to put forward legislation where they could work with us to get this passed. They waited till the very last minute.
Meanwhile, in an effort to further pressure Democrats, the White House Budget Office has directed federal agencies to draw up plans for potentially permanent cuts to the federal workforce if the government shuts down this week. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
With a potential shutdown at stake, the U.S. Department of Education is preparing accordingly.
Yesterday, the Department of Education officials announced its contingency plan if lawmakers fail to pass a spending bill by late tomorrow. Officials say nearly 1,500 of its 1,700 employees would be furloughed. That includes most staff at the Office of Federal Student Aid.
Some essential employees would stay to keep loans and grants moving. The agency, however, would stop issuing new grants and reviewing civil rights complaints. If the shutdown lasts longer than a week, the department says it would have to bring back some workers to work on a partial or rotating basis. Well, y'all, with fall in full swing, or not really, based on your forecast, lots of fall activities. I know myself, Fairfield County Fair is next week. We have the Circleville Pumpkin Show a few weeks after that. Charlie, are you doing anything fun?
Well, I want to try to get up to Circleville. I mean, those huge pumpkin contests they have, the world's largest pumpkin pie, I mean, you can't miss it. So.
You can't. Emily, anything you're up to?
I really like a good pumpkin patch and a good pumpkin carving. Yeah. I've never been to the pumpkin show in Circleville, so I might have to add that to my list of things to finally get to. But, you know, even though we have this fall coming up, these October fall activities coming up, it doesn't really feel like it, unfortunately. And today's a perfect example of it. Right now it's about 84 degrees with clear skies, which is, again, unseasonably warm for what we typically see this time of year. Usually in September, we are hanging around the mid to upper 70s, but again, this year is just a lot warmer than what we're used to. Now, we are seeing a lot of these increased temperatures throughout the Great Plains areas, and we're going to see these temperatures push into our region over the next couple of days. We will see a slight dip down overnight into Tuesday. But for the most part, a lot of these 80-degree temperatures are really coming up. Now, we do have a high pressure system sitting over our area and above the Great Lakes, which is helping to clear the clouds for today. But what we're looking at down off this east coast is Tropical Storm Imelda and Hurricane Umberto. Now, these are moving up the east coast. We aren't expecting any landfall, but we are going to be seeing some rain along the east coast and a little bit of cloud coverage as well, moving into our area tonight and again into Tuesday. But later this week, we're going to be seeing things start to clear up as the high pressure that's clearing skies out to the west of us now will continue to push into our region. Tonight, again, we're going to be seeing those partly cloudy skies, and we'll be seeing the overnight low of 59 degrees. So cooler temperatures from the daytime, fortunately, get a couple of things cooling down, but for the most part, it's still going to be hot these next few days. And tonight, again, that high pressure is going to start to really take a lot more shape, as well as these tropical systems down to the south. And then as we move into tomorrow, we're going to be seeing that high of about 84 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Now, those clouds are going to be coming in again from those tropical systems, but we're not expecting any rainfall. So conditions outside are still going to be fairly dry. And we'll be seeing that overnight low of about 53 degrees, so very similar to what we're seeing tonight. And that's going to be the trend this entire week. It's very similar temperatures, cloud coverage, moving on as we go throughout the week. So tomorrow, that high pressure is really going to start to take shape. And as we go into Wednesday, high pressure again stretching throughout the area. We have nothing on our radar going on as we go throughout this week, and more high pressure is really just building up throughout this Great Plains area. It's going to be pushing those clouds away, and at this point on Wednesday, those tropical systems will be well into the Atlantic, so we won't be seeing any more coverage from them. So by Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high of about 80 degrees, and then as we go into Thursday, partly sunny skies. That's where we see a slight cooling going on, but as we look into Friday and Saturday, we'll be a couple days into October at that point, and it's just going to feel just like September with those temperatures back into the 80s. Now on Saturday, we're expecting sunny skies as that high pressure continues to sit over the area. We're looking at that upper temperature end of about 82 degrees with that low of 51. So Sunday will be very similar to Saturday, mostly sunny skies. So all those sports events that we're looking forward to this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whether that's college football, high school football, or any sporting events as well like soccer, you're going to have great weather for that. You don't need a jacket because the evening temperatures are looking really nice. Sunday, again, mostly sunny skies, high of about 82 degrees and that low of 54. And by the time we move into Monday, we're looking at that overcast conditions. A couple of clouds are going to be moving into the area as we look at a system beginning to develop. Now that's really not going to set into our region until well into next week. But on Monday, we're going to see an overcast skies about 80 degrees, so we'll start to feel those cooling temperatures. But later in the week, it's really going to be too hard to really determine what that forecast is looking like because those forecasts are really only accurate for a couple of days out. But as we move into next week, we're really hoping to see those cooling conditions go as we move into October and as we get to start seeing those fall fairs and festivals that we all know and love.
Thanks, Emily. Mortgage rates are falling, causing many to ask if now is a good time to refinance. As mortgage rates fall to their lowest rates in over a year, Jen Sullivan has the answers to whether homeowners should refinance and lower their monthly rates.
The American dream of owning a home has remained just a dream for many potential buyers as the reality of high prices and high interest rates has shut them out.
The elevated mortgage rate reduced the transaction activity.
Lawrence Yoon with the National Association of Realtors says home sale prices aren't likely to come down anytime soon, but lower interest rates will make owning a home a little more affordable. As of last week, a 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 6.3% according to Freddie Mac. In mid-January, that number was more than 7%. If you did buy a home when rates were much higher, is now a good time to refinance your mortgage and get a lower rate?
The bigger spread that you can have between the rate you have now and the rate you'll get in the future, the faster that break-even point is going to arrive.
Stephen Cates with Bankrate says refinancing your mortgage can be expensive. It typically costs between 2 to 6% of the new loan amount. Then there's closing fees. Bankrate came up with this list breaking down just how much you can expect in other costs.
You're going to be doing a lot of work because essentially you're rerunning an entire contract for your home.
Kate says you have to really crunch the numbers, and it may be better to wait until rates come down more.
You may be slightly worse off financially in terms of, the net benefit to you over the next few months or even few years.
If you do want to refinance, Cates recommends shopping around for the best rate. You don't have to stay with your current lender. And make sure your credit score is good. The higher your score, the better rate you'll likely get. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The Trump administration's tariffs are hitting the big screen. In a social media post earlier today, President Donald Trump announced plans for a 100% tariff on movies made outside of the U.S. So far, there's no word about when or how this move will be enacted, but it would be the first time the president has threatened to place a tariff on a service and not a raw good. Earlier this year, Trump commented that other countries have offered tax incentives that have taken filmmakers outside of the U.S. Trump says that has hurt the U.S., including California.
Next in sports, Ohio football continues their MAC win streak over Bowling Green. Hear from head coach Brian Smith after the break. And from the latest from Newswatch, follow us on X, Instagram, and YouTube. And stay tuned for a new episode of The Lookout coming Wednesday.
As Russia invades Ukraine, a community of artists become unlikely soldiers.
Ми звичайні люди у надзвичайній ситуації.
Armed with their art and their cameras, they fight to find beauty amid the destruction.
Історії, що ми їх розповідаємо через мистецтво, це теж наш спротив.
Porcelain War on POV.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
It was kind of a moment of enlightenment.
So come get lost with me. We'll see the great unknown.
It's home to me. Wow, that's beautiful.
We could be the greatest story ever told.
When we all work together, we make change. I still believe in that.
I'm excited. You my hero, you know that, right?
Thank you.
Most people believe that doctors are healers.
Love is why we're here.
Life goes fast,
Our story is everyone's story.
but it's just the start.
Every modern constitution has explicit gender equality protections except the United States.
More women than ever before were sworn into the Virginia General Assembly, vowing to reverse 46 years of failing to support the Equal Rights Amendment.
This is a vote of a lifetime. The question is, what side of history do you want to fall on?
Ratified. Monday, October 20th on PBS and the PBS app.
With sports, I'm Evan Johnson, and Ohio football was back at Peden Stadium to defend their MAC title. The Bobcats faced Bowling Green this weekend for their first conference game of the season. Ohio made their presence known right away, with Cam Hollabaugh getting a 71-yard pick six, but Bowling Green responded as the first four drives between the two teams all ended in points. The Bobcats were able to establish the run game early. In total, Ohio picked up 238 rushing yards. The run game also opened up the rest of the offense. Tight end Mason Williams had a career game with 8 receptions for 93 yards and a touchdown. The Bobcat defense saw several great performances. Jay Crable shined, having 3 of the team's 5 sacks, and Hollabaugh forced 2 turnovers that earned him MAC Defensive Player of the Week. Parker Navarro capped off the game with a 34-yard rushing touchdown, his second of the game, as the Bobcats won 35-20 to win their 7th straight conference game. That's dating back to last season, and Ohio head coach Brian Smith reflected on the win.
I thought our guys played with a lot better energy, intensity. They were more excited. They had a lot of fun. So really appreciate the job our coaching staff does with mentoring and developing the kids that are in this program. And obviously it's a great team win. I think there was tremendous things on all sides of the ball.
After playing their first 8 games on the road, Ohio field hockey returned to Pruitt Field to take on the 11th ranked team in the country, UMass. The game was a defensive battle, with Ohio bringing the intensity in the first half. It was more of the same until the fourth quarter, where Anouk Blonde scored the first goal of the game. The Bobcats continued to make impressive defensive efforts, with Ohio goalkeeper Ash Stevenson having 3 saves and posting her first clean sheet of the season to complete the upset 1-0. It was the first ranked victory for Ohio since 2012. Head coach Allie Johnstone talked about the emotions after the program-defining win.
It's exciting and amazing, and that was a lot of defense we just played right there. So we talk about defense a lot and footwork and everything. So people were stepping up. It was amazing. The whole team just worked their tails off today. It was awesome.
After their first conference loss on Thursday, Ohio soccer continued their road trip, and they look to bounce back against Eastern Michigan on Sunday. After a slow start, Ohio soccer found themselves in a tough spot. They were down 1-0 in the 74th minute, but Ohio persevered, with Ero Faknu getting her 3rd goal of the season off of a penalty kick in the 86th minute to tie the game. Ohio picked up their 3rd draw in their last 4 games, and they will return to Athens on Thursday against Ball State. Ohio men's basketball announced today that they will participate in the CareSource Invitational, picking up an exhibition game on October 20th with Wright State. The game will be part of a doubleheader and will be played at UD Arena in Dayton. To keep up with the busy fall season, visit woub.org/sports.
Still ahead, the Super Bowl may still be a few months away, but we now know who we'll see perform at next year's halftime show. We'll be back after the break, but until then, here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
Your first guest, Margaret Thatcher.
There's never been a woman Prime Minister.
Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Thatcher.
Goodbye then.
A quick intro and
Presumably a two-shot.
He's your favourite journalist. You ready?
Yes. One mistake and they will have me out.
We have to be tougher.
To a fourth term!
I know what I have to do. What on earth is going on?
Betrayal.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece.
Yesterday's robbery was the largest in world history.
We're looking for 6 robbers and 3 tons of gold.
That's very pretty.
That is how England works, lad. That lot have it and us lot nick it.
I shall take 25%.
Every ring, every watch. If you're looking for the gold, it's all around you. This will only get faster and faster till one day it's all gone.
The Gold, a new series on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 10 on WOUB.
What is gonna happen here?
They're beautiful.
I've never seen this before.
It's one of the most poignant chapters in the human story.
It's an absolute explosion of sound and color.
What took place here still leaves us in awe.
Wednesday on WOUB.
An American Experience. In the midst of the Vietnam War, Lower Manhattan becomes a battlefield.
When I was a student, I just felt, we have to fight this. We have to.
To us, we grew up that you support the United States of America.
The Hard Hat Riot is a microcosm of the polarization that will come to define American life.
Hard Hat Riot, An American Experience.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Super Bowl 60 is months away, but we now know who will perform at the halftime show. 3-time Grammy Award winner Bad Bunny will be headlining the show. Apple Music and the NFL announced this last night. Now, this may come as a shock after rumors had swirled for months that another pop singer, Taylor Swift, might headline the halftime show. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell hinted Swift might be the halftime performer during a TV interview, but that did not happen, and Bad Bunny will now headline halftime. Guys, I'm just going to be honest. I don't listen to him, and honestly, I was really rooting for Taylor Swift. Do you guys listen to him?
Not really, no.
I can't say I do either, but I mean, just truly there have been some incredible performances at halftimes recently. I mean, that 2021 with Dr. Dre and all those guys, it was just incredible.
Okay. My favorite one's the Bruno Mars all time.
Bruno Mars. Oh, didn't Rihanna do one?
I was just about to say that one was my favorite, but it's always fun seeing like the outfits and like the dancers and everything and the like excitement of everybody. But for tonight, we don't have that much excitement for the weather. We're going to see partly cloudy skies with a low of about 59 degrees, so pretty comfortable outside. Those clouds are going to be rolling into tomorrow as well with mostly cloudy skies. Now we will be seeing a high of about 84 degrees and an overnight low of about 53, so pretty similar to conditions to today. It's still going to be hot, although it won't be as muggy outside. We're looking at a dry air mass moving into the area. Now as we go into Wednesday, we're going to be seeing a slight drop in our temperatures, and that's mainly because there's a really large high pressure system in Canada that's going to be pulling down some cooler air into Wednesday and Thursday, but unfortunately that is not going to be lasting at all. As we get into October, we're going to be seeing on Friday and Saturday again those 80s, and it's going to be slowly creeping up as we go into the weekend. So if you have any sporting events coming up, it's best to stay away from those jackets because it is going to be hot outside and it's going to be sunny, so make sure to drink plenty of water wherever you may be. Now looking at next week, we're going to see our temperatures again begin to increase, and it's October. We're looking at those fall fairs and festivals, so you won't need to be dressing in any sweaters or any fall garb just yet.
Thanks, Emily. That does it for our broadcast this evening. For all of us here at Newswatch, I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.